Hey guys, another video. So I just want to say, when we are out there in the world and we are talking to people, when we are dealing with other people, even like just the way we joke around about some things, maybe we tease people, just remember that we are reflecting who God is to people. So what I mean by that is, people know you're a Christian, you know, people know that what you believe. So if you are showing hostility to somebody, then they're going to be like, oh, their God is hostile, I don't want to be with that person. If we're forgiving, then we'll show that God is forgiving to people, and they'll want to know more. And it reminds me of one guy who I used to work with. And I was working in a very hostile and just like a nasty kind of workplace in the past. And this one guy, when it was my last day and I told him that this is my last day, I'm leaving this workplace. It's like he wanted to cry, and he was telling me, I always notice something about you. You never swear. You never say anything evil or joke anything like that's inappropriate and things like that. And so then he just started to open up to me about his life and his wife and how he got divorced and the issues he's having. And this was my last day of work. So we walked together. I think we were closing together, and we walked together to the parking lot. And then he just started to talk to me about a lot of things. And I got to pray with him and to share with him with the good news about the gospel. So take to mind, take this within you, that people are always observing you. You may not know it. You're just going about your day, and you're going and doing whatever you're doing. You're just going to work and coming home, whatever it is. But people are always observing you. Even your family observes you. So the way you talk, the way you joke around, your character, they're seeing it as a reflection of God. Especially if they know that you are a believer in Christ. So let's give honor to our God by having honorable behavior, honorable attitude, forgiving people. Sometimes it can be hard. I completely sympathize with you guys. I've had some really difficult situations where it was really hard to forgive some people, but people will notice. People will notice. Even your enemies will notice if you forgive them. Wow, this person is like, he really follows God, and they'll see that you're different. They'll know you're different from the world. So we have to maintain a difference between the world. You remember in the Bible, the Israelites, they had a set of rules. They could not eat pork, right? So that was setting them apart from other cultures around them in the promised land. And people knew that, oh, this people group doesn't eat pork. But what does that teach us? That teaches us that they were showing something physical to tell the other people around them that we are not like you guys. We have a special way of life, So it was something that was differentiating them from the people around them. And food is one thing, but also like your character can set you apart from the people around you. So always maintain a good positive attitude. Always remember that you're an ambassador of Christ, and you are through your walk daily, through the way that you behave and talk to people, that you're representing Christ. So always be gracious. Don't be savage to people. Don't be rude and arrogant. Show people what Christ was like on the earth. And the way that you show people what Christ was like on the earth is by studying what Christ did in the Gospel of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and also the other books of the New Testament. Start with Matthew, read Matthew, and see what Jesus was doing. and how he was behaving around people. You know, he didn't shut down anybody just because they were evil. You know, I there was one guy who had a criminal past in my workplace previously, and you know, he was saying, oh, you know, you probably won't like me because of this, that. And I said to him, no, you're my brother. You know, and that's really how I looked at him, like my brother. And you know, he just smiled and kind of walked away. But then like weeks later, he came back and he said to me, you know, that really touched me when you said that to me, that you look at me as your brother. And he was really, really touched by that, you know. And but really, I was speaking from my heart. Like, you know, I didn't see him as a bad person, you know. I mean, obviously he did some bad things, and I'm not going to say what he did. He did some really bad things. But at the end of the day, these are people who, if they knew the proper way of life, they wouldn't have done those things. If they knew how much God loved them and was there for them and wants to help them, they wouldn't involve themselves in some of these things. Some people, like I said before in one of my videos, you know, they grew up in a negative environment. They grew up in an environment where their parents were witches or wizards. You know, their parents were, you know, another religion or another faith, you know. So they don't know God's way. And so if you show them by your character, they're going to be curious about who is this God that you are serving and why are you different. And you could even be differentiated from other Christians. They'll be like, oh, you know, that person is a Christian, but that person, you know, is like this, and that, you know, is a gossiper and, you know, talks evil at work. But you don't do that. You don't swear. You don't make rude jokes, and you don't cheat anybody. You know, you're always on time at work. So, you know, we're representing Christ every day. So just remember that whenever you're going through your day, you know, don't be rude, don't be savage to people, and put on your ambassador garments and represent the kingdom of heaven. Okay, guys? So God bless you. Love you very much. And yeah, let's see you guys on another channel. And share this with your friends, family, anybody who you want to encourage. God bless you. Take care. Bye-bye.